Hi guys, Ray here from City Fan TV. I'm back, and I'm back with the Blue Menace. That is Bernardine. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I've never been away, mate. I'm always around, like
You
a
went to
like a
London at
I'm like a
weekend.
veruca.
Veruca Salt. I don't want to go down that route. But you went to Wembley. You went to Wembley.
Yes,
So is,
wonderful,
is there any need
wonderful.
to go? Is there any need to go next month?
Is it a month away? Yeah, and I
Well,
think
it's
I've
in May. It's in May, 25th of May.
got the Monday as well, just in case we get beat, so I don't have to suffer until the Thursday like that. So that's not too bad. And you
Yeah,
never
guys.
know, mate. With this lot, we're not as good as last season. They
No.
nearly nicked something at the end last year. I remember.
No. We're way off it, way off it. But it's been a tumultuous week. Obviously, getting beat by Real in midweek. Unfortunate, very unlucky there. I still have my grievances because we had our chances. We didn't take them, and if you don't take your chances, hey, and as Jim Bowen says, look at what you could have won. It's gone. It's gone now. We had our chances.
I think we have to say it's just another trophy we possibly could have won, and we've failed again.
Well, look, yeah, you look at it. We should have beat them. We should have beat Chelsea in the final 3 years ago. So anyway, it is what it is. And
we should have a hat trick. We should have matched United by now, and we're not.
Well, to be honest, we should have beat Madrid. We would have beaten Bayern. There's no we would have beaten Bayern. Okay, would have shown Arsenal how to do it. And then the final is I don't care who turns up because City are winning that. So they're in a very, very good position to win. So it's just one of those things. It's football. It's tough. So we rolled on to Saturday, and obviously Pep complained about the fact that we had to play Saturday after playing Wednesday. And when Man United, Coventry, and Chelsea hadn't played in midweek, and everybody could have played on the Sunday, and it's crazy that we were forced to do that, but we still put out a decent side, and we still put in I would say first half was a bit poor, but overall,
like you, mate, we did look. I mean, the Wembley pitch. I don't know everything. I don't know. The grass is longer. Everything moves at a slower pace, doesn't it? Chelsea was zipping it around occasionally, but we didn't have any sort of pace in the players or the ball. And chances, you think, we're on it, and then all of a sudden it sort of falls to their. I think very early on there was a chance with Alvarez, wasn't there? And I thought it was in there, and all next minute the goalie's got it, and I thought. And obviously at the ground, when you watch him from the angle, his perspective's really odd in that third tier. You think the ball's going towards a goal and it's totally going the opposite direction. You lose. So I suppose on the pitch it's the same. Perhaps the players aren't quite used to that. I'm not too sure. But first half, not great. Second half, we were far better. Better team. Second half.
And I think, we overcame Chelsea. We had enough quality at times when it mattered. But
it's a shame Cole didn't play though, wasn't it? Shame Cole Palmer didn't play.
Yeah,
really.
Did he turn up? Was it 2-1 for him? Was it 2-1?
I don't know what it was. I mean, all the hype, of course, all the papers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cole Palmer this, Cole Palmer that.
But the thing is, I mean, I was away. That's why I've not been around. Last few weeks I've been on tour with the Easter, and then I was over in Athens. Got to throw that in. Topping up my tan. Working over there for a few days. So I watched the first half, and it was that poor that I thought I'd go out and grab something to eat whilst at half time. But especially the first half, we were making so many mistakes, so many giveaways, and that's what Chelsea thrived on. They're very happy to sit back and hit you on the counter because they got pace. They got Jackson there. Second half, Mudryk came on, Cole Palmer, tricky players. So it was great. End of the day, it's great to get through. And then how did Man United? The stuffy gits, aren't they? Stuffy gits.
I don't watch United, mate, because I had like yourself, many years of watching United and being disappointed because they used to win everything. So what was the point of being depressed watching City, then watching them win? What was the point? The hope of them losing very rarely happened. So I just avoided, and I avoided watching this. Obviously, it was 3-0. I was on my phone, 3-0. Then I looked at it. What? extra time. I thought, watch the extra time. Even though I didn't want to, I thought, I'm going to get upset. I'm going to get let down because that's how it is. And that goal went in. I thought, I looked at the guy in the middle. I thought, it's tight, that. It is really tight. So I didn't get excited. I was ready to shout to the rooftops, but because Sharon Muir was watching it, I said, I'm just going to watch it. You know, I don't really want to play him in the final again. I want to play Coventry just for a change. So I didn't celebrate so much. And it was full time anyway. You knew as soon as that had sorted and he kicked off, the ref would have blown his whistle anyway. So to have that ending, I mean, that VAR, I mean, we've seen some lines drawn on boots and God knows what, but absolutely. I mean, that's where VAR, you think of our Tottenham game, it was exactly the same. Imagine the emotion for those Coventry fans, absolutely tremendous. You know, and to have it like we did in that Spurs game when we were robbed in the final moments, it's devastating. And they don't have it, do they? Coventry, of course, they don't have it in the Championship. So, you know, it'd be even more painful because it's something they don't have. And it was just horrible, ruined the game. And of course, he flunked the penalties and a couple of their idiot players showing how classless they are. It was just hard. And I wish I hadn't watched it now. As I said, mate, I avoided as soon as I watched it, oh God, I'm disappointed again.
I know, because I was working yesterday, and then I had to move from one hotel to another because it messed up and didn't put me in the same place all the time I was there. And so I'm doing all this, and I saw it was 2-0. I thought, I'm not going to bother. Yeah. You know, it was 2-0 very quick, weren't it? Very early on.
I believe, I mean, I think, and
then I saw later on that it was 3-0. I certainly weren't going to watch it. And then I saw something that said, Jim Ratcliffe had run the marathon. Then he went off to Wembley to watch United, and United scraped home. What? And I find, you know,
it's like our penalties, of course. They scored and they missed like we did against Real Madrid. So you thought, great, just put it in the net now, you're sorted. But then, obviously, it all fell to crap like our penalty takers did. You know, it all went wrong. But I tell you what, I have been saying to United fans, I'm glad you won because I wouldn't have fancied playing Coventry. You know, on the break, they were tearing them apart. I thought, Jesus, don't do that to us. we'll concede at least 4 or 5. We were playing them.
I'm disappointed we're not playing Coventry because at least Coventry would have given us a game.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And, you know, anyway, it gives us a chance to win the FA Cup. And then we saw a couple of league games where Liverpool and Arsenal won. You know,
no surprise.
There were moments. No, well, when was it Fulham equalised against Liverpool? What was it, 1-1 at half time? You thought, maybe. No, a draw would be a great result for City because that means City could lose could lose a game.
Well, I think they'll still draw or lose one each, so we've got to just keep winning, mate.
We're just going to keep winning, and that's what we're going to move on to. We're having a look back now. We're going to look forwards. Well, a couple of things before we look at Brighton game. A lot of talking about transfers and stuff, and so I'm going to ask you a couple of people. One that I saw mentioned today about Jack Grealish being available this summer. Now, we had a chat off there. I said, look, he's hardly played. It's easy for papers to make something up. He's hardly played because he's been injured. Doku's turned up.
When's he contracted to?
Well, this is only his 3rd year, so he'll have a couple of years left at least, I think.
It's an odd one, isn't it? It is an odd one because I think Pep loved. I mean, certainly last season he loved him and he gets him to do his job. And he's had a lot of stick this season. Then all of a sudden he's come good again, and so people are sort of sticking up for him again. I don't think he played particularly badly on Saturday, but as you said, he's hardly played anything. It's not because he's been dropped, just because we've not had the availability. You know, it's been awful. So it's been an in and out season. But Doku's come back to the fore again, hasn't he? He's regenerated himself, if you like. He's come back from a lull. So you're bound to get this. I can't see, particularly at this point in time, unless you get someone else, Jack, going anywhere at the moment. But,
well, the thing about Jack is I thought he'd actually got back into pretty decent form. He'd looked quite dangerous in the last couple of league games. And he was all right. I think he was okay against Madrid as well.
Really, the thing that annoys me, mate, he can't score, can he? I just don't get excited when he has a shot because you know he's not going to score. And can we afford to have a forward who just doesn't contribute goals.
Yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think you can. Even though he has that control, but that's what Pep wants. He's on a 6-year contract, so he's got 3 years left. Now, if someone came and offered us 60 million, I'd let him go, personally. If we had a really good replacement, it has to be top notch, or with potential to be top notch. Now, obviously, we've got, I forgot his name now, Echeverria. He's coming. The kid over from, was it Girona?
Yeah.
We've got people coming, and he's coming. So, hey, and he'll have the same problem as Cole Palmer. If Jack's here, if Doku's here, if Bernardo's here, if Foden's here, where's Echeverria going to play? He's not going to get game time. So
you got Bob as well, haven't you? Bob's obviously. Yeah.
Pep seems to like him as well. Now, if the stories are Real Madrid are after Bernardo now, if Bernardo goes, that gives a space. But I still think there's too many players for this. As you said, we've got Bob, Foden, Doku, Alvarez, who I don't think has played as well as he would. I don't think Alvarez has been playing brilliant all season, but he's been getting goals, and now he's not scoring goals, and he's not doing it for me. And we get Doku and Jack, so I think we just got too many. So if someone said 60 million for Jack, yeah, I'd let him go. If we had adequate replacement, you telling me we're going to get Wirtz or Krashkavili or whatever, then I'd say, yep, I've got no problem. Or Elise, I'd say, yep, let Jack go. 60 million. We'll make a small profit on the sale in a book terms, because his amortization is 16 million a year. So he'll be on the books at about 50 to 52 million. So if we sold him for 60, we'd make a slight profit for FFP purposes. And I wouldn't feel aggrieved. Walker is another one who's got this 3-year extension. I said it at the time. Gundogan was the guy who should have been offered a 3-year, and Walker a 1-year. Or a 2-year for Walker, but we did it the wrong way around. And for me, he's all, regardless of the plaudits he gets, he's always hit and miss. He's always making mistakes, which are costly.
Yeah.
So if we got, and I won't mention the name because that's for another video, another time. But if we got an adequate, a very good right back, would you be happy to let Walker go?
Yeah, because he's getting to that stage now where he's just, that hill, that hill that, he's on the downward slope, and he's doing some good things, but he's still doing some stupid things as well, and at his age, he shouldn't be doing the stupid things. He should be doing something. He should be steady and doing it. But I like it. I think it was at Wembley where I like the fact that Pep's not asking him to do his own, he's not asking him to move up as much now, is he? He's asking him to defend, which is what I want him to do. I don't want him to be trying, because he can't do it. He can't assist. He can't cross the bloody ball. He can't do anything. And it's took a long time, but obviously Pep's changed his tactics, hasn't he? I don't think Pep's tactics now are the same they were 2 years ago. Of course, he hasn't got the players to do it.
If you keep Walker further back, that allows you to push one of your centre backs up.
I'd have Walker. For me, as long as Pep was happy, I'd always have Walker not wandering forward. I'd always have him round the back. But as you say, he's what, 33 this year?
No, it'll be 34.
34. But, we haven't got anyone adequate to replace him at the moment. Lewis will do a job, but, of course, Pep's more inclined to move him up into bloody midfield. So I wouldn't say Lewis is a proven defender to sit at right back.
Well, Walker's 33, will be 34 next month. So, 34.
Yeah.
And then this talk about...
He might want a couple of years at Sheffield or wherever he wants to go back to. I don't know.
I think he'll end up back at Sheffield United.
Yeah.
There's last few days there's been talk about Rayan Nuri. I actually... I probably deleted this now. I deleted a load of old videos. If you go back 3 years, I did a video about Rayan Nuri, about him, because
you can't be deleting videos, mate. You've got to go retro. You've got to have retro Rays. Come on, you can't be deleting stuff.
I might go and have a look to see if I can find
a big thing out of it.
No, I deleted it. I might have just deactivated it.
Income earner for you. Retro Ray.
Well, I should have that one. I should have got back, because people are now looking for this kid. And 2 or 3 years ago, I'm talking about, before he went to Wolves, I was talking about him the season before. And I remember talking to a fella called, I forgot his name, Walid, I think. Not Walid Hope. No, it was a French stroke Algerian journalist, and we talked about this fella, and I think we basically said it was too soon. He needed a little bit before he comes to City. And so this talk about him, so that's interesting, because if you got him, what you can do with Guardiola? What are we going to do with Gomez? You know, I don't think they're the crucial ones. I think the crucial spots for me is a DM cover, a right back, and an attacking midfielder. And if we get Paquetá, I think that's the way we probably will go, looking for Paquetá. I don't think we're going to get Bruno Guimaraes, but that's interesting as well. And yeah, so if someone comes in with the right money for Jack, I'd let him go. So I'm just going to move on, and have a quick look at Brighton, because, as you say, if we've got to do what we've got to do, if we win all our games, we win the league. It is as simple as that.
Yeah.
But
we struggled last year. I mean, I know we'd won the league by the time we went down to their place last year. 1-1 draw. They really sort of took, Brighton do. I mean, Brighton play some nice football, but I think he's had a lot of. I think they've underachieved this year purely because he's had a lot of key injuries, hasn't he? I think.
But you lose, but he's also lost players in the last, 2 seasons. He's lost Cucurella, he's lost McAllister, who's looked, the business.
Well, Cucurella, I mean, the Cucurella, flipping out. Well, that was being improved. That'll improve the team, mate.
For them, he was all right.
But you remember me? I was raving over him. I saw him play. I thought, hey, we'll have that Cucurella. He's pretty good.
but the thing is, McAllister's a huge loss in Caicedo. So you lost 2 midfielders.
Yeah, so, he's struggling to. I think the ninth in the league.
Yeah.
Very inconsistent, which is always a worry because on the day.
The 10th.
Yeah, and 10th now. Yeah, we got stuffed by Roma, didn't he? In the round of 16. I think they won the home leg, didn't they? But they lost 4-0 away, didn't they? I think.
Yeah, they got battered away. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so they're not the force they were last season, but are we? No.
No. Look, I'll just remind everybody, we got 6 games to go. Okay, the Brighton one is this Thursday away from home. We've got Forest away from home on Sunday. We've got Wolves at home the following Saturday. Because we're not in the Champions League, we can focus on the league now. We've got Fulham away. So basically, our next 6 games are league games. We don't have to worry about a couple of Champions League semi-final games in there. And we've got Fulham away. So it's 3 out of the next 4 away. We've got Spurs away and West Ham home. So we've got 4 away games. Yeah,
I want to go to Spurs away with the points in hand, me.
Yeah. Well, I want to go to everybody with points in hand.
Games in hand and points in hand, whichever way it works round. Yeah.
So I want to go everywhere. I mean, we like you said to me earlier, you reckon Arsenal, Liverpool will drop points again, and that is going to be so helpful to us if they do. If they drop points somewhere, even a draw, if they draw, let's say they both draw, we'd have 2 games in hand and we're only 2 points behind.
Arsenal increased the goal difference a bit, didn't they, last night by a couple, but Liverpool's about the same as us now, isn't it?
Yeah, Liverpool are plus 43, we're plus 44, Arsenal are plus 51, Man United -1. I mean, that's the difference. That's the difference. So it's tight, but we've got that game in hand. And I when I look at the games we've got left, I can't see us trouncing anybody. I really can't. Now you might think, no, that's this we're going to batter somebody, but I don't. I don't see us battering Brighton. I don't see us battering Forest.
I don't think we'll catch Arsenal on goal difference anyway.
No, I don't think we'll make up 7 with games against Brighton, who were top 10, Forest, who are fighting for their lives, who always gives a tough game, apart from at home last season, I think. Wolves, that's not easy. Fulham away, that's not easy. Spurs at home, and West Ham. Look, and I don't want to go into the last game of the season needing to beat West Ham 5-0 and make up on the goal difference to win the league. Having said that, I think we can beat them 5-0 because they manage to they go through fits and starts, getting pumped, and then doing putting a good performance. So Brighton, we mentioned it. Lots of changes for Brighton in the last couple of seasons with players leaving, injuries now, but like you said, they're still sat there in 10th. They're not rubbish. They've had some good results this season. not as many as they would like, and they've dropped points against teams that they shouldn't. But they've been, I think, at best they've been inconsistent because obviously got beat by Arsenal 3-0, drew away at Brentford, lost to Liverpool 2-1 when I think they took the lead. They struggled to, by goals wise, beat Forest. Obviously, you mentioned the battering by Roma. They got battered by Fulham before that. They got beat by Wolves before that. They drew with Everton before that. They battered Sheffield United. They got beat by Spurs. It's in and out. They got battered by Luton end of January, 4-0. So, they went through a phase where they scored lots of goals, let in lots of goals. You Jekyll and Hyde, you don't know who's going to turn up. So who do you think, which Brighton is going to turn up on Thursday?
Hopefully the crappy one.
Yeah.
I'd normally say it's not about Brighton, it's about our Pep's 11 is about what Pep does. It doesn't matter what Brighton put out there. If Pep puts a great team, his best team out, we'll win. Simple as that. It doesn't matter about Brighton. But interested to see what his best team is this week, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Pep does. I mean, you'd like to think everybody's had enough rest. Obviously, Haaland.
The fact Haaland feigned injury because he didn't want to drop him. I mean, I know you wanted to drop him, and just because he thought, well, I better feign injury because Ray said I shouldn't be playing. So it looks better that he's got a niggle than he's been dropped.
Well, I've been asking for him to drop.
Having said that, the way Alvarez's role, I mean, he may as well not bother and just play with 10 men.
See, that's the problem. Alvarez will be the one who comes in. So Pep will never go with, for argument's sake, up front, Bernardo, Jack, and Doku. You'll never do that. As with a false nine. Maybe Jack is a false nine, but because Alvarez was the one that steps in. So, it's like at the moment you're getting rid of. You're caught between a rock and a hard place. Either Haaland plays and doesn't score goals, or in the games that matter. And if Haaland doesn't play, then Alvarez plays and he doesn't score goals in the games that matter. So it's a bit tough. But what are you worried about with Brighton? I'll tell you what I'm worried about. I worry that we consistently leave teams in games and give them the opportunity to take lead and give them too many chances. And Brighton are too good a team to give. We were
1-0 ahead quite early doors, and I think they equalised about 30 odd minutes, so it was 1-1, and then nothing really happened after that. But you can't really compare last season. As I said, the league was won. They were still hoping for Europe, weren't they? I think that confirmed Europe for them, didn't it? So they were on a high as well. But I just worry about how the legs, because we're seeing so much now, and the way Pep's talking, this team is tired. Our team's tired. And you saw that at Wembley. There's no fizz. There's more fizz in Chelsea's attacks than there was in ours. More fizz around the pitch than we had. There's occasional little nice things that we did where Foden sort of had a shot saved by the keeper, where nice little build-up. But he couldn't see it. And, okay, Wembley's a different kettle of fish. It always is. We'll worry about that when we play United in a month's time. But I do think there's a lack of fizz. And Doku coming on was great. It gave us that little bit more impetus. But the trouble is, if we're playing from the start, are we gonna struggle then?
So I agree. When he comes on, he's electrifying. He's exciting. But is that because Jack or whoever has buttered them up? Because they're tired by then. By the time Doku comes on, other side are tired, and he's got less time to do things wrongly. Let's say, but obviously less time to do good stuff as well. So, I just hope it's the wrong version of Brighton from their point of view. If we get an early goal, I think that's really does make a difference. But as I said, my frustration is that we leave teams in the game. Have you got any ideas on a lineup? Any ideas? Who's fit? Point. Who's fit and who's not just?
Yeah, well, this is it. We just don't know. I mean, to me now, we played Saturday. Presumably they've had a couple of days off. I don't know if they come straight home. I didn't even know they were going to stay down there. Actually, I mean, I might have stuck them in a nice plush hotel for 5 nights or something like that, and just done that. But assumedly they come home, which is always best, I suppose. So I'd imagine they've not been back training yet. I've not seen any pictures. Will they come back for training tomorrow? Probably. I would have thought.
See,
Because they'll be travelling down Wednesday, won't they? Won't be
yeah.
travelling down Thursday. So you've got to come back for a little bit of training. But we've not seen anything. We don't know who's fit, who's not fit. Grealish got a kick. Does that mean he's now injured? Or I know he was a bit upset coming off, but was that because he got a kick, or was that because he could have played on? You know, he's a pretty robust character more sometimes when he gets kicked. He's not usually that, you know, he plays dead, doesn't he? But he seems to be all right. You see them thick calves. I mean, I have put a tentative 11 together, but the trouble is, you were mentioning before about playing false nines, and I've not got Alvarez or Haaland in my tentative 11.
Sorry, I'm not actually worried about the 11. I'm really, I don't normally do it. And okay, I buy down to you because you got 11 right last week, didn't you?
I won't get 11 with this, mate. Don't worry. I only got 8 in the cup.
I think more and more what I'm thinking is who's going to be available.
You just want certain players in. I mean, KDB looked leggy to me. He wasn't right.
The thing with KDB, I forgot to mention him when I was looking at players. I don't want him to leave, but he's not been good enough since he's been back. He's had some flashes. The Newcastle game was incredible. He's had some great. And look, it's not just his fault. That pass he put through to Foden, if Foden had scored, would be singing about KDB and City battering Chelsea again. So it's not just his fault. But I'm more concerned, kind of really, is because of when the fixtures are. I told you who we've got, but not told you when. And the problem is we had the Real Madrid on Wednesday. We had the FA Cup. We got Thursday. We've got the extra day before the Brighton game. But we've got Forest 3 days after that. Then we've got a week off. 6 days. Next game is Saturday. Then a week off again. But in this is crazy. Last week of the season, last 8 days, we have to play 3 games. That's ridiculous. Just as I said,
suppose he couldn't prearrange them because he thought we might be in the Champions League semi-finals, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so we sat there. So the worry is now because we've got 2 games, within 3 days, Brighton and Forest, and I just can't see. For instance,
we have to get 6 points. 3 or 4 is no good. We have to get 6 points.
No. We have to because we want to keep it in our own control, in our own hands. But I can't see possibly Rodri playing both the Brighton and the Forest game. So if you had a choice of the 2, which game would you play Rodri in?
Brighton.
I agree. Brighton for me. Look, if we can't
I think we give Kovac a bit more respect as well. For Forest. I think Kovac did a half decent job when Rodri's not been around.
My thing about Forest is if we can't go to Nottingham Forest and beat them, then do we deserve to win the title?
And there's nothing wrong with Rodri. Rodri's one. The trouble is if you're playing for 60 minutes and take him off and rest him, but is he more useful coming on? So start with cover and bring Rodri on. But if you're having to bring Rodri on, that means we've got problems. So it's probably the wrong thing to do anyway, isn't it?
I mean, I would like if I had it my way, I'd rest Rodri for the Forest game because I want Rodri for the last 4 games of the season. I want him for. So if he, for instance, if he missed the Forest game, he'd have a week and 2 days. So he'd have about 9 days rest before Wolves and a week off before Fulham. So I think he'd be fighting fit for the rest of the season. If he is leggy, it might be that we say, look, what we do, we go all out to beat Brighton.
I think he's got to play his very strongest 11 for Brighton and then see what we've got for Forest.
Because what you can't do is catch up, drop points. Yeah, so it's like I used to tell my kid when you go running, you're running certain speeds. And I used to say I like to run a 5-minute kilometer. So I'd run 5 kilometers at 5 minutes per kilometer. So 25 minutes. But I said, if you run the first kilometer at 5.5, you've got to make up 30 seconds over the next 4 kilometers. And it's not simply, I've got to make up 30 seconds. No. I've got to make up a bit extra as well. I've got to run. So I've got to not just run the time that I've made up. I've got to run the time that I want. So you're going to have to run the next lot at 4 things at sub 5 minutes to make up. And that's getting more and more difficult. So it's the same here. If you get ahead of the game, you might be able to hang on, but you cannot catch up. If it's not in our hands, we can't catch up. So, and us winning against Brighton straight away puts the pressure on everybody else. And that's crucial. I mean, but there's a lot of games going on this week, isn't there? I mean, the other thing is Liverpool are playing Everton and Arsenal playing Chelsea. So, it's going to be interesting because they're actually playing before we play Brighton, which is a shame because I think if we'd played Brighton and beat them and then Arsenal and Liverpool had to play, that's what extra pressure on them. But it's also going to be interesting because, as I said, Arsenal home to Chelsea, Liverpool away to Everton before we play Brighton. Now, if they drop points, there's pressure on them. They have to win. They know they have to win. And so that they have to take more risks. So it's going to be really, really interesting if they drop points against somebody. And then, we go into the Brighton game with 2 games in hand, level points, or 2 points behind or something with 2 games in hand. That takes the pressure off us. So all the pressure at the moment is on them.
We could have the problem, of course, and I've seen on social media. Well, I'll call it the anti-treble bounce, where Real Madrid will go on to win the Champions League, United will win the FA Cup, and Arsenal will win the league. And it's called the anti-treble. Obviously, it's a total opposite to what happened last season because of us.
But look what happened to Liverpool. They were going to win the quad, and then suddenly they're out of the Europa League. They're out of the FA Cup, and they lost a game in the league. So you never know. Most City fans don't take anything for granted. We make fun of United and stuff, but we don't take anything for granted because, hey, we know we're setting ourselves up for a fall. Do you want to give us a score prediction, mate? How about that?
Yeah, I've gone easy. I've gone 2-1.
I'll go 3-1. What a surprise! I'll go 3-1, guys. Well, there you have it. I only landed. At what time was it? 11 o'clock. And it's just 12:30 now. This is the most important thing you do is start football. When you get a chance. Yeah, hopefully.
Well, I've been promised a Brighton ticket, but I've still not received it yet. So I've got Brighton and a Forest ticket promised, but I've not received either of them yet. So I know one's on the phone, it's a code, and I think it's Brighton.
Yeah.
I think Forest is a paper ticket. I might have to go and pick that up. But
the thing is that Brighton,
the person who's promised it me is now going on holiday, but they've assured me they will sort it out. So I'm
the Brighton game.
One of the coaches, so I might be saying, well, could I go try and get a ticket while I'm there, or whatever. But
well, I mean, I was thinking to go to the Brighton game.
Well, I could have got a Brighton one on my own numbers, obviously on my own points, because he went down to open sale basically for season ticket. Obviously, the guy had already got me one by then.
I was thinking to ask you if you were going to go, and then I thought normally I drive, but I'll get a coach down. And then I just thought I'm knackered. I've been on the road for the last month. Been over to Ireland twice, Greece, up and down the country. Been in the southwest for a week. I'm absolutely knackered, and I just thought I need a rest. I need a rest because I'm working this weekend as well. And I just thought I need a rest. And actually looking at my diary, the only game I can go to now this season, I got the Wolves game. I can go to the Wolves on the 4th, even though a couple of people have asked me to do some work. I've got the West Ham game. I can't go to the FA Cup final because a year ago someone booked me for some work. So I'm just hoping that we can win the league and I can go to the West Ham game and enjoy that 4-timer. Let's not talk about it. Oh, the last thing I'm going to say, Bernardo Silva, never talk about it. Bernardo Silva should never have mentioned the double treble. Should never have mentioned it in the press conference. He should have just battered it. So we look at the next game. That's all we're focused on is the next game. Don't think about that because it just is another rod to beat us with, and we don't want that. Right, that's a long chat, a lot longer than expected. But thanks a lot, mate. And I don't know when I'll see you again, but hopefully.
When will I see you again?
Maybe we'll have a chat after the Brighton game. I've got a meeting in the morning, and maybe we can chat after Brighton and chat after the Forest game as well. Take care. Thanks for making the time for this video. And guys, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you're notified as soon as new videos come out. And give us a thumbs up, give us a like, and go and check Bernard out. He's on the Citizen channel. Go and check him out, please. See you around, Blues.